is a presentation of Mr. X News Network.
It's Mr. X News Network. It's a special Thursday. We're back. I'm back in the house, and I can hear them crying in the aisles. They keep saying it.
You can't keep getting away with it!
Maybe I'm not getting away with it. Maybe I'm right. It's time for Mr. X News Network. Are you ready?
It's time for XNN.
Objection! I said I didn't do nothing.
The following is a presentation of Mr. X News Network.
Everybody wants to know what the Mr. X is going to say. What happened in the last 24 hours? Well, only winners get their news here straight from the Mr. X. A lot of people are talking. A lot of people are deleting channels, hiding channels, running away, talking about things they don't know about. Well, I don't have a whole lot to say. I gotta say, I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. And with that being said, let me tell you this. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the people who watch the Mr. X News Network, who love the Mr. X, who want to hang out with the Mr. X, who want to hear what the Mr. X is saying. But I know what you want to hear about. You don't want to hear this and that and Mr. X say hello to people. You want to hear about what happened yesterday. I don't have really much to say about it. There's only kind of two words that I got to say about what happened yesterday. And losers like Watcher Crazy, who are putting people into tough positions. Losers like Twin Mama. People who are talking about like Leanne. What a bunch of fucking losers. With malicious intent. Another giant L. Mr. X is undefeated. That's right. And he's undefeated with glorious domination. Mr. X News Network is where the winners get their news, and you can hear it from anybody else. But the fact of the matter is, Mr. X always shows up. Mr. X has always been there. Mr. X is never hiding. Mr. X is never backing down. And we all know what happened yesterday was glorious domination. And if you're somebody like Watcher Crazy, I got something for you to hear. You said what? That's right, shut the fuck up! The Mr. X is the winner! And you know what's interesting? I knew I was gonna win. How did I get this shirt? How did I get all that footage? Because it was already done. It was, well, the footage at night was done last night, but we're over here now, and it's Mr. X. That's right. I hope you enjoyed the Mr. X News Network glorious domination. That's right. You know what? I think I got to play it one more time because people like Jim Terry, oh, here's a cease and desist. Here's a turd. He's got the fucking creativity of a gnat. Have you ever heard of anybody putting a cease and desist in a kite and going to the beach? There's no beach in Ohio. There's no beach in West Texas. But there's a beach, Dockweiler Beach, where the Mr. X is at. You know what? I have to regale myself. I got to see it again. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Who's got a rhinestone jacket? The Mr. X does. It's glorious domination here on Mr. X, and I'll give it to you one more time. You know, everybody else has had an opportunity to talk about it. We've seen Leanne talk about it. We've seen Jim talk about it. We've seen Watcher Crazy talk about it. We've seen people go into hiding. But the fact of the matter is, the court case was yesterday, 120 days. And the case was dismissed. Now, let me tell you straight off the bat, I want nothing to do with those people. I never want to hear anything about Confluence or Legal Tea ever again. And I don't plan on ever talking about them again after tonight. There's not going to be slurs, and there never was for me. I just don't want anything to do with you. But let's start off with some news, some real news. This is all, and tell me if this sounds like a repeat from Jim the other night. This is all because of the loser, Watcher of Crazy. Watcher of Crazy did this to Leanne. Watcher of Crazy did this to herself when she threatened to show up in Las Vegas and didn't have the courage. Leanne didn't have the courage to show up where Mr. X was at in a courtroom. That's all this is legal. And you guys said, Watcher of Crazy, that Mr. X would never want to see the inside of a courtroom. I didn't have to go. It's all online. 150 miles away. Not medically able to drive. Remember? That's what you guys made fun of. But you know what the best thing? And by the way, Jim Terry is no attorney. Jim Terry is no doctor. Jim Terry shit-talked David Rule, the rule of law, the Mr. X attorney, for months. I gave him this advice. I gave him that advice. You didn't get, that guy did everything that guy said would happen, happened. And Jim, you were stupid enough to tell people that you were going to broadcast that. Mr. Rule knew about it. The petitioner knew about it. And we sat there and they discussed it. And they decided to take everybody down. See, Jim, I was very close. And I told somebody who's very close to both of us that if you get in my way, some information is going to be let out about you. I prefer not to talk about you anymore either. The information that's going to be let out about you is not going to be to public consumption. It's going to be for somebody named TB. Leave me alone, or the information, and leave everybody around me alone. Stop doxing people and stop harassing people, or the information will be released to TB, and you know what I'm talking about. You won't be going to Hollywood Casino down the road anymore to be betting on sports. They'll be waiting for you there. And here's the thing. You're talking about somebody being a coward because I don't want to give you more content? How much money did I make you yesterday? How much money did I make you on those 3 shows? You made a lot of money because of me. You're not getting any more free content. The coward, Jim, is somebody who doesn't show up. Somebody who's hiding from process service. You guys have no idea how Jim screamed at me when that process service happened. It was almost like him getting served. And I was like, it's okay. It's okay. We'll take care of it. We'll take care of it. And we will take care of what happened, and I know he's terrified of this, on July 1st. We will discuss that. Jim, you have been beaten at every turn. There's no competition here. You can't compete me when it comes to producing. You can't, you can maybe outscream somebody. But the fact of the matter is, you have no courage, no creativity, no empathy, and no caring. Now, let's get to somebody, a loser like Watcher Crazy. Watcher Crazy, you fucked up your own son's life. You fucked up your own life. You fucked up Leanne's channel. You fucked up Bob's channel. You fucked up your own channel. You fucked up this young man in San Diego. And, well, his mom was already down the trajectory she was down. It is what it is. This is your fault, Watcher Crazy. And let me tell you a little piece of news. Today, the Mr. X was on the phone. That's right. You don't believe it? Medical interference. See, you're very, very lucky. And let me give you a little hint. If that guy, Mark J. Diaz, who was your process server, that you admitted on your show, and we have the recording of it, I have the recording of it. That's what the 10 terabytes are about. not about all you haters. I've kept everything, including every show. A police report was filed today on Mark J. Diaz, the process server. Now, here's the thing. I hope I never hear this guy or see this guy ever again. If for whatever reason, when I was talking to that blood drive person, if that footage were to come out or any medical information was to be released that hasn't already been released, I know you don't care, Watcher or Crazy, but that guy is fucked. Now, if nothing releases or he wasn't ever in that room, then he's got nothing to worry about. It'll just be relegated to an incident report. But there was something filed, and it was done today. And here's the thing. These ends and these loose ties, they needed to be tied up. They needed to be finished up. They needed to be sealed. And the first step was to deal with that process server. By the way, that process server, his declaration or his witness testimony was thrown out of court. Was completely thrown out of court. Was a complete jabroni. That's the truth. So yes, we did speak to some people today. The Anaheim Police Department, Officer Q will say, and the incident report ends in the number 86. We spoke to Diana. Ask her. The number ends in 24, the phone number, over at the Orange County Recorder. We talked to the North Court Department. Number ends in 80. Anaheim Police Department. That was all set. That was all set. Now, there's a lot of talk, and I'm not going to get into too much about the petitioner, but the fact of the matter is this. The case was dismissed. The minutes are out there. And there are a few tiny things that I want to wrap up before I have these people out of my life for good. Okay? They got beat down in Coronado. They got beat in the Justice Court. And I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to go after my money. We're going to see. I'm not saying I am. I'm not saying I'm not going to either. We're going to see. But the fact of the matter is this. I sat there for about 3.5 hours, and I can't believe the petitioner would have the unmitigated goal to sit there after he pushed it back. He brought the petition. He pushed it back. He filibustered. He did all these things to make it last 120 days. And he actually thought he was going to win. He actually had the courage and the goal to ask the judge for money if he won? Damages? I didn't bring this upon you. See, Mr. Rule is very smart. You know what Mr. Rule did, Jim? Do you know what he did? It's very obvious that they are creators and we are creators. And he said something that was really smart. I've seen Don Imus and Howard Stern go at each other, and I don't remember Howard Stern ever getting a restraining order on him. That's a fact. But there's so much that could be said. But one of the things that could be said the most, and I don't want to say it's 100%, but I think I saw it. And I'm just going to kind of put it out there as a maybe. Maybe I'm wrong. I could have swore I seen, I don't want to say swear because I'm not 100% sure, but it appeared as if that judge already had everything filled out. And she did admonish these shows using words like TRANNY, which are words I typically don't use. That's something Jim does. And they did ask, by the way, why I no longer work with Jim. I'll get to that in a minute. But they admonished, and it looked like she already had her decision made up. But you know what was interesting, Jim? Something that Mr. Rule caught him on? The fact that he admitted in open court that he worked with a lot of people, including fumble nuts. He mentioned fumble nuts. Take a recess, take a recess, take a recess. Hey, can we get a recess? Yes. Hey, Mr. Rule, it's Mr. X. Yes. Did you know if they are a streamer and we are a streamer and they just admitted that they work with Fumblenuts, who's a violent convicted criminal, who's a lowlife, he's trespassed banned by the Pinellas County Sheriff for Jim Terry music. Now, if I had that at their business, they'd have got it on me. So what's the difference? The difference is I've never met him. I've never seen what he looked like before this. I've never spoke to him. I have no plans ever to speak to him. I'm medically unable to drive. They kept talking about a book, Leanne, a book. Was purchased in what, 2023? In 2023 till now, what's happened to them? Nothing. And let's talk about this stay safe at home bullshit that's been talked about for years. The attorney, Jim, also found this out. I didn't even know this. The California Stay Safe at Home, and Twin Mama, you could go and go look this up. Go put it in Chat GPT. I want you to look this up. Hold on. Go look this up. All that is if you are a person that's been sexually assaulted or SA'd, excuse me, if you are a person who has a restraining order against somebody, all that program is it gives you a new address. That's it. Go and look it up. And what you'll find out is this. The California Secretary of State website will tell you that's all that is. That's all it is. It's just an address. It's not a protective order. So Leanne and your other buddy, Twin Mama, I'm forgetting her name because she's so important. You're 100% wrong, and I would like you to go look it up. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. Malicious intent, the only person that's had any malicious intent on them was me. I didn't do nothing. The only thing that I ever did was be associated with Jim Terry. And speaking of that, Jim, I probably don't think you wanted to see this live because, you're under oath. You got to tell the truth. And the truth is, the main reason I was done working with you, and go look at the court minutes. You could go look it up. Your own dad said this. It's because he's difficult to deal with due to his gambling addiction. Would you like to hear that one again? The reason I could no longer work with Jim is because he was unruly and he was difficult to deal with due to his gambling addiction. Now, all of you people out there that say Mr. X and Jim are going to get back together again and that this was a big hullabaloo and a big all bullshit, you're wrong. You're wrong. I mean, I know as much as you guys would like that for your own entertainment, and I could appreciate that, and I do thank you for that, that's not going to happen. And there is some bullshit out there that Mr. X changed the company and Mr. X did this and that. Look, from the very beginning, Jim said, Mr. X, you can have the content. After it's over, if you want to make a docu, just download it, you could have it. Now, people like Leanne, they want to change the narrative. Leanne, if you wanted to change the narrative, why didn't you show up for court? You could have had your opportunity then. But you didn't do that. You didn't do nothing but accept be a coward and lose. Don't forget, Mr. X is undefeated. And here's the question that was asked too. Why does the petitioner, he's had a actual, believe it or not, and this was asked in court, he has had his screen name, which is now gone, since 2010. It was asked how old he was. I think it's common knowledge he's around 20 years old. So he started it at 4 years old? No! His mom started it. But he's been involved with it. So why is his anonymity worth more than Mr. X's? It's not. Don Imus, Howard Stern. In thousands of shows, I've never said who Mr. X is, even if you guys know who I am. A lot of things is done in pro wrestling style, as you could see from the opening. and shenanigans, but it's ridiculous. And Watcher Crazy, and I could go from Watcher Crazy to Leanne to Jim and all these people over and over again. Without question, that's your fault. You went on there, I got him served, I paid Mark Diaz. And it just goes on. It's just all a bunch of shit. But I know what you guys want to hear about. And I don't want to talk about this guy continuously. And by the way, I got to say this real quick. July 1st. What is July 1st? Let's get into it right now. Because this has to do with a lot of the story, and I'm not in the chat, and I got some notes here. What is July 1st? Jim is terrified that has to do with laying pipe. Jim, you recorded that call with laying pipe. If I acquired that call, I didn't record it. You recorded it. But here's the thing. Here's the great thing. Spectrum, and I'm going to clue you in on a little something. They already have that section of the call. I'm not going to tell people what's going on with that. The more important thing is that video grab that Betty Hayward sent from that text message when he was going in through Scope. So you don't have that much to worry about. And July 1st is not that, but that has been handed over, brother. That's for sure. And we'll see and if something does go forward with that, believe me, you'll be the last to know. So stay easy that Mr. X isn't coming to arrest you. But I have a feeling when I talk about July 1st and what happened on July 1st, that's going to anger you even more. And that's not the intention. It's just the way it is. I have been speaking about the importance of July 1st before the court case even happened. Here's the reason. On July 1st, guess what happened? Can anybody guess it? Do you know what happened on July 1st? Mr. X got all of the insurance money. And you know what's interesting, Jim? That insurance company that you and I made a verbal agreement on, you remember them? They were very against giving me anything. And I don't know what happened, but I happened to call them on July 1st, and I just said to them, this guy's going to be calling. He's not part of what I do anymore. He's not part of this case. He's not part of my family. He has nothing to do with me. He's not on the policy. He's not part of the corporation. Nothing. Now, if he would have been sued first, would he have benefited from that? Sure. But that was the deal. So what happens? I think you called. I think you got a hold of them. You know who they are, right? You said you had the email of who they were? Because when I spoke to them, man, did they change their tune. Mr. X, I was about to tell them the story, and they said, where can we send the money? I got the money on July 1st. So that puts me in a position where I'm like, I talked to the attorney about this, Jim. You keep saying $5,000. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Do I continue to stay in arena with these losers down in San Diego? Do I continue to do that and go after them? Or do I just say, you know what, fuck it? And because if I go into a small claims or have the attorney submit something, I got to deal with these people again. But it's a very small price to pay to have them go away for good and me never to have to talk about them after this show. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'll turn up on Monday and I'll have a different attitude. I'm not 100% sure. But I know, and I know you know the financials. Some of it was lightened in Florida. Some of it was lightened by this insurance. And I'll be 100% transparent and honest. The insurance has a $2,000 deductible. That means the insurance only paid out $1,500. There's still $2,000 that need to be recouped. So here's the thing. It's not that big of a deal. $2,000 to that young man down in San Diego, he was bitching about missing 4 days of work. $2,000 to the Mr. X, not as bad. It's not as bad for me. And I know that there's nothing that can make you more pissed off than money. And Jim, nobody ripped off anybody in the movie. That guy that you're alleging that you spoke to, he made nearly $10,000 in 2007. So Jim, we'll put that to the cause and go ahead and put that in a suitcase so Kyle and Little Dog the Squirrel make that $151,500. Well, it went down $3,500. And, I want to say thank you to Mr. Rule, the rule of law. Yeah, Jim did get a hold of him. That's right. Mr. Rule isn't hiding. He's not like Jim. He picked him up and he said straight up, here's what's up. This is what it is. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Rule says, I hope you and Mr. X could get back together again. That's the kind of guy he is. And here's the thing. I spent a lot of time with that man. A lot of time. And that man took one flat fee. Jim, you did not find that guy. You didn't find him. The guy that you said you found would have represented one hearing, one day, for $15,000. And that guy was from Youngstown, Ohio. That's what you said? Who cares? The bottom line is it's a win. That's all that matters. And I'm done with those people. I'm done with them. So I'm out the door. Now, if you want to go and make websites about Watch You're Crazy, I don't know. I mean, you said you had a phone call with Watch You're Crazy. Where's that at? You said you were going to bring the OTT back. That never happened. You said you had a call with Liz. That never happened. You said you had a call with Johnny's son. That never happened. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And then you get some residual lower level calls. Speaking of residual, you said you spoke to the Screen Actors Guild. I've still never heard anything from them. Jim, I was telling people that the only way that I would come after you with the law is if you went after me when it came to that court case. If you played that illegally. And you should be thanking Mr. Rule and the petitioner that they shut that down. Because if I would have been put in a bad situation, and I don't believe that would have made me lose anyways, but if it would have happened because of you, we would have had a real problem. And I would have been happy. I'm not the kind of person who calls the cops that often, although I did do it today. I had to do it today to protect myself. Not physically, but just in case Mr. Diaz wants to step out of line or Watch You're Crazy does. So, Jim, you would have had to deal with the wrath. And unlike these other people who don't know, I know. And let's stop with the bullshit about AC being related to you. He is not related to you. That is your wife's ex-husband. AC is not Mean Green's son. Your wife's ex-husband is not related to you. That it's not a family member. Unless you're a cuck. Now, I know that her kids, he's the father, but it's not related to you. Unless you're living in his house, maybe that's your relation. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, you're welcome. You're welcome for the money yesterday. Because, Jim, you had an opportunity at the beginning of July to do your 4-year anniversary show. You didn't do it. You had an opportunity to deal with the great folks over at Indavo Media, which, by the way, they wrote a declaration, and their declaration proved everything that I said. You fucked them over. By the way, Watch You're Crazy, they didn't even use your declaration. Remember, you wrote a declaration, and that wasn't even discussed. So Watch You're Crazy, you can also, and I think that you already have, here. Shut the fuck up. And Watch You're Crazy, you are a complete lowlife, and you get whatever you deserve in life. It won't be for me. I know you're going to go hide. And I think, like a lot of people have said, your son's going to come out and reoffend. I'm not shocked by that. And I'll tell you something else I'm not shocked by. People who are joining up with Jim. Girl Ryan, do you not remember how badly Jim trashed your daughter? The only thing I've ever said was, why aren't you working on that case? I've had several cases in the time that I said that to you. Like 2 or maybe even 3. How come you haven't worked on your case? And after all those vile and horrible things that Jim said about your daughter, and I'm no big fan of yours, Girl Ryan, but I never said anything bad about a deceased kid. That's for sure. Certainly not yours. I've never said anything bad about Rhonda Hauser's kid either. Never done that. Now those people are over there. Twin Mama, you found a place to go hang out. I guess you guys forgot what Jim has done to you people. You want to give him money? Go give him money. Noodle Salad, a nice lady, a lady that I like a lot. Do we not forget, Noodle Salad, that you gave Jim a bunch of money to set up a YouTube channel? And he said he was going to help you stream, and I did all the work. And he was telling me behind the scenes that he hopes you quit so you don't have to do any, he doesn't have to do any work. That's what he did to you. Meanwhile, he put you in that position, pushed you to be in that position, and next thing you know, people like Leanne are attacking your son, who's special needs, and he's a good kid, and everybody likes him. Let me also state this, speaking of Leanne. Leanne, there's a massive difference between your grandkids and Texas Granny's kid. Let me explain why and what it is. First of all, you've brought your daughter on shows. You are a host. Texas Granny has never brought anybody on her family, and she has rarely, if I can't even remember, ever come up live on a show. That's the number one difference. So your daughter has been on shows several times. So Texas Granny's family, Texas Granny in general, they're not part of this other than her just being a nice lady and a moderator, okay? But you got to show that you needed to get served because you did something wrong. And it doesn't matter if it would be your fat son, which, by the way, at age 47, I would guarantee you're making fun of the gym. And by the way, I don't do Zumba. I do Pilates. I do CS4, which is a CrossFit. And I do biking. And I work out 3 days a week, lifting weights. I guarantee you, I've been in the weight room more this year, just this year in 2026, than everybody combined in your family in the last 5 years. Unless you count graping as working out. I don't know, maybe you do. But the fact of the matter is, your daughter, Leanne, was on shows. Your daughter happened to be there when you got subserved. And on top of that, your grandchild that you keep talking about was never on any show. Was never on any show. That person was blacked out. And by the way, you have to pay money or come onto a private network to see it. You got to pay your money. That was something else. Why is Confluence paying money to Betty Hayward and coming into this private network? We're not going into their network because both are streamers. The biggest thing, and I can tell you this, that made it win is the fact that never met him, never saw him, never violence, all the things that have been said from the very beginning. One of my favorite parts of it was they were talking about Jim's Rumble. Jim's Rumble, okay? The Chapter 84, the Confluence cease and desist. You remember that show where we said, Confluence, please, I said, please leave us alone? That was in 2024. That was in our evidence. But they kept showing it was like a jacuzzi or a pool. And they said, did Mr. X ever say your address? Did he ever say, like, I don't know what the address is, but let's just say, for example, 123 Main Street. Did he ever say that on a show? No. Did he ever instruct anybody to go to 123 Main Street? No. Is this pool in your jacuzzi where you live? You reside? Is that 123 Main Street? Do you live in that jacuzzi? And one of the biggest things, and this is the last thing I'm going to say within it, when I was being questioned by the attorney, and they said, how did you meet this person? I guess apparently, according to this petitioner, if somebody buys a book, thousands of books, I just attack everybody who buys a book. No. And he kept trying to object. Your mom was a moderator on No Thanks Investigate. Hearsay. We got 2 declarations. We got proof of it. And on top of that, the reason she came to us is because she sent nudes to that man. And she said it was porn revenge. She wanted to use Jim's show and Mr. X TV to be able to go after this man. That's not true. One of your pieces of evidence is on Mr. X TV of your mom and Jim Terry talking about that incident. What are you talking about? Are you kidding me? And I have to admit, the judge did admonish the Mr. X a few times because, when you're a theater major and you can't tell because I got the mask on, but my eyes get big, I get animated, I get worked up, I emote. I can't help myself but emoting when I got some pieces of shit out there like Watcher Crazy trying to push some false narrative that I made a book to traffic people or whatever the fuck this goofy woman says. Whatever happens to her negative in her life, and it's not going to happen for me, she deserves it. She is a horrible human being. So it's very hard to sit there and have a book that's dedicated to my mom, who is a lovely person. Jim could verify that if he could speak to her. I don't know if he does. But it's just like, you're going to say this book is about trafficking people? I mean, what's fucking wrong with you? What's the matter with you? And that's why all of those discussions, Jim's business over here, my business is over here. That's why the discussions existed about business interference. That still exists. That could still be sued for. So to wrap up some ends here, and I'm not in the chat, but I want to wrap some of these ends up because Jim's wrong about a lot of things. We took care of the Mark Diaz, the Mr. Diaz thing today. That's done. Whatever happens from that, if we need to say anything more, we'll say it in a courtroom. That's over with. He's out of our life. The Anaheim Police Department, if they feel necessary, which they probably don't, because there's probably not enough proof at this point, they'll deal with him, not me. And what else will happen? Let's talk about some of the other ends that needed to be closed and finished up today. I reached out to Officer Beebe today. That is the police officer that was in Coronado. She did not answer. Here's how it works. The big surprise is we were going to have Officer Beebe as our witness. Did you know that? But the attorney said it was not necessary. You got to pay the fee, the $270 fee, $275 fee, and schedule it a month in advance. The petitioner a month ago was saying Officer Beebe snickered at him and said, I can't do that. That's right. She can't be there with 1 week notice. You got to put that in and send the money in and have everything set up because in case she's working, they got to give her the day off. I told her that this case was closed, it was dismissed, and then that happened. And on top of that, I did make one final call to wrap up any loose ends because he requested me to. And he said I could do it anytime. Sergeant Morello and Mr. X had a conversation today. Remember him? The head of the cadet program? There was a section of this case where Sergeant Morello Sergeant Morello says the San Diego Comic-Con thing and what you are saying is incorrect. Sergeant Morello said he was going to have you guys go in, but San Diego Comic-Con wouldn't let you since they wouldn't throw you a bone in 2025, which, by the way, I wasn't there in 2025 either way, so it's a moot point. So you know what the petitioner said? He says this. Well, the sergeant doesn't know what he's talking about. Huh? So the attorney asked him 6 or 7 different ways. So you know more than the sergeant, the head of the cadet program? Yeah, he's misinformed. Well, you just got an email or a text message, and your text message says, not going to San Diego Comic-Con in 2025. That's all it says. No other proof. And in these kind of things, this isn't YouTube. You actually got to prove something. I'm sorry, petitioner. Watch Her Crazy put you in a real bad situation. I'm sorry that she did that to you. And I'm sorry your mom did that to you. It's unfortunate. And here's the thing, petitioner. We did come to you and say, listen, drop this. We said this to you a month ago. Drop it and we won't seek our money. Just please, we want to be done dealing with you. And you wouldn't. You thought you were going to get money. So the attorney continues to ask him, so you know more than the head of the cadet program, right? That's what you're saying. You have no proof, but the head of the cadet program who agreed to a phone call is saying that that's not the case. It's saying actually the complete opposite. Your superior is saying the opposite. I don't know what's going on there, folks. I don't know if it's just I don't know if it's a lie. I don't know if there's something wrong. I don't know. I don't know. But and maybe he thinks he's right. I don't know. But he couldn't prove it. That's for sure. So yeah, I spoke to Officer Morello today, and here's what happened, Jim. You want to know the information, and you're taking credit for stuff and all that kind of stuff? Well, here's the truth. I told what I just told you guys to Officer Morello, and he just listened. He told me today, and I got some notes, that the petitioner within the cadet program has forfeited his position. And I said, I don't understand what that means. What does that mean? He says it's because he hasn't been officially removed from the program, but he's never shown up. So I guess, Jim, after that May 6th conversation, the one that was recorded and put into evidence, they have been requesting that he come in because the cadet program wanted to speak to him. And if he would have come in and they would have spoken to him, they would have said, you're gone. The reason he would have been gone was lack of attendance. So he just has never showed up. So this whole situation that's been talked about the cadet program, he hasn't been there. He likely won't come in. And what Officer Morello told me is if he doesn't come in and he forfeits his position by not being around anymore, he's okay with that. And this whole thing about identity, and there was something that was mentioned in the court case that this thing was basically done and mentioned to this officer in identity. That's all I'm going to say, to protect the person. Officer Morello told me today that's a lie. He said that it was just dropped and it wasn't anything about a medical situation. Obviously, if you're going to play sports, you need to know about medical situations or whatever it might be. And I was told that was a lie. So Jim is right. He did file a complaint. Jim, here's how it works. So you might want to call Officer Morello. You could do that if you want to. A complaint lasts for 5 years. And after the complaint is complete, this person, you said that you made sure that he is never going to be a police officer. I don't know about that. But I know this. If a person is a cadet, they will contact the sergeant who's in charge of the cadet program or any kind of training that they've had. And I have a feeling, and I don't know this for sure, maybe I know it a little bit, that as long as Officer Morello's around, and if he's ever asked, should this person be in law enforcement, as long as this guy's around, and he'll probably be around doing this for another 10 to 15 years, the answer is no way. But I was told that the petitioner probably would never seek anything out in law enforcement anyway. So it doesn't matter. Was this all a big ruse again, as they say on Leanne's channel? I don't know, but that's the truth. And that's what I was told. Officer Beebe, good luck to you. Sergeant Morello, good luck to you. Mr. Diaz, good luck to you. You are all out of my life. Good luck to you. That's it. Petitioner, mother, some 7-year-old I don't even know anything about. See ya. Good luck to you. Watch Her Crazy. I'm not going to say good luck to you because you got a whole lot of shit coming up in your life. A lot of bad things are coming up in your life, and it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with that criminal son of yours getting out. And I wonder how long it's going to take to reoffend. Meanwhile, you've been on the internet talking with people like Leanne, and Leanne's talking about if I do Zumba or not. What a fucking idiot. You know what you should do? You and Leanne and your son? Get a gym membership. Maybe that'll keep you out of committing crimes. Maybe it'll make that eye go the other way. I don't know. But here's the thing about all this. The reason I left, many reasons, one of the reasons, working with Jim is I don't want to do this kind of content. I've had this shirt for a month. I had this shirt before the last hearing. I don't want to do this shit, fighting with people. You know the popper with the confetti and the Mr. X's like that? I've had that for 6 weeks. Used it last night. That was $3, but, whatever. So here's the thing. I truly hope that those people leave me alone. I'm not associated with Jim. If you're down in San Diego and you want to go after Jim, you go after Jim. But all this stuff that you tried to pull, that judge, she's no dummy. She is not a stupid person. That is a very intelligent woman. I would argue more intelligent, vastly more intelligent, obviously she's a judge, than every one of the haters. I've never seen a hater as intelligent as that woman. And she saw right through that bullshit, and she knows the law. Now, does she like me? She liked that I'm associated with the content that Jim puts out there? No, I don't think so. But there was nothing to put in that situation. Nothing to restrain from. I've never been convicted of any violent crime. I don't own any weapons. There's nothing. I'm not going to drive down there. San Diego Comic-Con starts next Wednesday. I already got my professional pass. I'm not going. You haters want Jim. And one of the things that she kept saying is, congratulations. Who said this? Was it Watcher Crazy or Leanne? You did something, Confluence, that nobody else has done. She did something that everybody else has done. First of all, she wasn't involved in the case. She was never in court and never there by her son's side. That's number one. She did what you did, Leanne. She lost. Well, she didn't lose. Her son lost. And listen, I hope that young man finds something in his life that's fulfilling, finds something in his life that's positive. Let me tell you something, young man. I'm 47, okay? I work hard. I don't think you're going to outwork me. And you didn't have a case anyway. There's a lot of information out there allegedly about your mom. Most of it has been presented either by your mom, number one, which we put that out in the court case, or was done in a discovery situation by Jim Terry. I mean, you could go back and watch the show, The Half Sister. It's on the OTT. It's on Jim Terry TV. And I think it's the hour and 4-minute mark. And we were ready to discuss this. Mr. X, you've never seen this. Mr. X, you've never heard this call. I wasn't involved in any of that shit. I didn't know Jim was calling somebody's dad or the half sister or any of that bullshit. I didn't know about any of that shit. But they say Mr. X owns the OTT because there's a little goofy thing that says directed by Mr. X, starring Mr. X and Jim Terry, which was a preset from the beginning of the OTT. Here's the fact. We could go on and on and on and on and on and on about it. And I'm not sitting up here screaming. I don't want to be mean to anybody. I'm not looking for you. I don't want anything to do with you. Stay out of my life. Please stay out of my life. And that goes for you too, Jim. Stay out of my life. So I could do the kind of I probably could have written 2 more scripts in the time that you did manage that. You managed to waste some of my time. And that's more important to me than even the money. I wasn't worried about it. It was annoying. Yeah, it was a little bit annoying. I was probably more annoyed by Jim giving me shit than this actually existing. But eventually, by just leaving Jim's, which, by the way, Jim, this is my 9th show since leaving Jim Terry TV, and then you removed me. I have made more money than I did with you in the last month. Don't believe me? Oh, and by the way, Bob keeps saying that StreamYard is 150, 160 or something or other. It might be if you pay that up front for a year. I don't know. Jim, StreamYard costs $44.99. I think you just paid for it. We paid an extra $5 to have an extra 50 gigabytes in the cloud. It was my account that had the StreamYard. I produced all this content. You didn't make any of this stuff. You didn't go out and film. Here's what you filmed. Putting a match to a thing. That's probably the only time that I ever directed you. Can you put a match? Don't make it vertical, make it horizontal, and just go like this so I could go like this with Dynamite. It's the only time I ever directed you. That's it. Can't tell Jim anything. Right? You can't tell him, you can't direct him. So yeah, the StreamYard's always been mine, $44.99 plus $5, $50. And what happened when I left? Since you only used StreamYard for half a month, I gave you back $12.50. $12.50, $12.50, $25. That's how much you were paying. And you and I both agreed, Jim. I both agreed. I won't work with you unless there is production insurance. Because if you get sued or they sue me, we need to have that. And we had it the whole time. And at the time that I left the show, or left working with you, let's say, they were rejecting me. They were telling me no. They sent me a registered letter listing all the things. No, you remember Leanne was talking about if there's harassment, it doesn't go through. And they were saying that. But on some reason, and I don't know what it is, on July 1st, man, they changed their attitude and bang, they paid it. Did you call them? Thank you for helping me repay my money. And by the way, that money was also offered to somebody else as a reimbursement, and they turned it down. You know what I'm talking about. So it is what it is. But the fact of the matter is, it's over. It's glorious domination. It's sad to an extent. And I'm not really even mad at anybody. I'm not sitting here screaming because something's not live. And Sugar Plum, Sugar Plum and some of these people, let me tell you this, Sugar Plum, there's no humanly possible way that you or anybody in Jim's chat could help Jim more than I've helped him over the last number of years. I'm not mad at you, even though I think you've been disrespectful to me. I wasn't even mad at Crystal Ann or any of these other people. But you know what? He will turn on you. He will turn. In fact, he's the one that wanted you gone from the OTT to begin with. Same thing as you, Girl Ryan. Don't believe me? See, and I think that I don't think Jim is a overall horrible human being. I really don't think that, because he could be a lot of fun and he could be a very generous guy. But if this is 0, and I think you know what I'm going to say, if he gets below 0, okay, how do you get below 0? You get $1,000. You gamble $1,000. Now your bills make you below 0. You get $1,000 from Mr. X, you have just got back to 0. But all your bills are up here. Now you need more money. Now it's the Mr. X's fault. Well, what do you do? What do you do? Well, you might rip off a bank. Now you don't have a bank account anymore. And now it's Mr. X's problem. And I got to send you more money quicker and quicker and quicker. That wasn't the agreement. That's not how this works. But thank God that I can, and it's a lot because of these people, that I could still do this, Jim. And people like me. And I know you said that wasn't the case, which, by the way, there's virtually nobody left from the OTT over there. What, you bullied Carol H to come back because of something with Johnny? Queen of Ossian's a nice lady. Noodle Salad's a nice lady. And there's a bunch of people that come And there are some OTT. They're over here too. They go into both. And I'm not going to name them, but I'll say one of them. She's a nice lady, Blue Diamond. I like all those women. But you definitely have chased away a lot of people. Way more than me. You know, it is what it is. Now, I'm going to get in the chat here because I'm sick of talking about this. But, you know, I know that people keep saying this, you know, but there is a reason.
You can't keep getting away with this!
Not getting away with anything. Just happened to be right. Just happened to be right twice in San Diego. I would just give it up. See, here's the thing, Confluence. You legitimately had a real case against Doug Hutton. That's a home run. But because Jim and or I didn't want to help you, you wanted to come after us and harass us. And you did it for years. You did it for years. I don't know anything about baby daddies or this person or that person, but what I've been told, the little bit that I know about it, the person that you are scared of has no ability to come and see you. Just like that whole thing with that protective order, you're telling a little bit of the truth, but you're not telling all the truth. I could literally have the captain, the fucking head guy of the cadet program say, the sky is blue. No, it's not. I know more than him. Dismissed. Dismissed. I mean, it's ridiculous. And we could go on all day, but I'm just glad that we got the people that we got here. And I'm going to come off camera and get into the chat after my hour and 6-minute rant because I'm here for the people that have gotten to Mr. X's back. And I want to say thank you to the people. I think it was like $65 or $70 of people checking in on me on Wednesday, sending me cash apps. $65 is actually a good show for Jim. It would be a huge show for Watcher or Crazy. I don't want to beat up Jim, and I'm talking about verbally. I don't want to, he's not going to do anything to me if I show up in Florida. It's not going to happen. I want Jim to go on with his life, do well in streaming, stop harassing the people that he's harassing. Like I've said, there's so much room in this streaming world for everybody. Johnny Yarborough, Crystal Ann, Twin Mama, Jim. We've seen Belle V, who I like. I mean, there's a lot of people, and these people are generous enough that they pass it around to everybody. But they're not going to do that if you're going to attack them. That's how you lost it. Not because of anything I did. And, here's the thing, Jim. At some point, and I would say this to a lot of you creators, that little thing I created, it took about, I'm not the best editor in the world, but, to upload all that footage and then, it took a couple hours to shoot it. Then I went on a different day and shot some other stuff. Luckily enough, the girlfriend made the back of the jacket to Mr. X. I ordered the rhinestones. Everybody kind of got into that. The confetti, all that stuff that came with that, right? It took a little bit of effort. Jim, at some point, if you want to be successful in this, and I know more about this industry than you do, it's not even close. And you're talking about the only time I've ever met people that are famous is when I served them hors d'oeuvres. Are you fucking kidding me? Dude, are you kidding me? Do you know how many sets I've been on in my life? I've worked on more sets in my life in 1 year than you've played in football games in your life. That's a fact. It's fucking ridiculous to say that. And that just goes back to me doing those kind of jobs when I was in college and even up into New Orleans to be able to get my tenure. So what? So what? And Jim, if you have some proof of something, if you spoke to somebody, prove it. Don't be like Leanne. Prove it. But I'd just prefer if you don't talk about me because, like I said, if you talk about me and you start to meddle in my life, TB, here's all the information. And ironically, Jim, you gave it to somebody. All your information, somebody else already has it because she was doing a bunch of work. It wouldn't be hard to get all that information. You're hiding. Not me. Not me. I've proven that I'm not hiding. And you think that I would be hiding from you or Fumble Nuts? Are you fucking kidding me? I will go wherever I want. and do my live streams. I'm not going to go to anywhere any of you haters are at. I'm going to go to where I want for the benefit of the people who like me. And by the way, I'm going to do that again this weekend. You think, Jim, you're telling people that I'm doing some kind of job and that's why Mr. X isn't on Friday? What I will do is I could get some pictures, photographs, pictures of receipts, actual real life receipts, and prove otherwise. What are you going to do? When's the last time you've gone out for a real dinner? I mean, you know what? You can't talk on the phone around 4 p.m. because you got to make dinner like fucking some housewife? For what? Jim, let's be honest, that woman's not even attractive. She's not even attractive. And you have the gall to say something about somebody who was on NCIS New Orleans? Somebody's in the gym busting her ass? Trying to get the most out of whatever you got at plus 40? Can you say that of yourself? Or are you going to go around telling people you're an athlete with a gut? Did you watch that footage of me? How is it that I'm not a professional athlete and I can run better than you? I can run better than you in wet sand and in Pacific Ocean water than you can on turf on a football field. It's a fact. Go look at the footage. I mean, we could talk about this all day. Jim, you and I will never see each other again. Nobody's afraid of you. I would prefer that if all of these people who have a problem with Jim or Jim himself, just leave me alone so I can do what I do over here and make the goofy videos and talk about the shenanigans. Thank you, Ace's mama. And do the shenanigans that I do. Think I want to fight these people? Think I want to be in court cases? No. She did a great job. That's right. And we got so many good people, Jim. Dana Nicole, Raven. You know, it just goes on and on. There's Mean Green, Ace's mama. I mean, Allie's here. I mean, all Rainbow Melon. That Rainbow Melon, that lady's never done anything. So what? She's got an attitude. Destiny's another person. D. Icer, Melissa. I mean, that woman, Rainbow Melon, she never did nothing to you. She never did nothing to you except for give you money, support you, buy t-shirts. Everybody's got a personality. And then you're just going to go and attack her and say horrible words. For what? For what? And you know what's the craziest thing is? Jim, your haters, they're not my haters. The only hater that I have is Leanne. It's because she was decimated in court. And I'm sure the people down in San Diego aren't big fans of the Mr. X either, including probably that judge. I have a feeling she doesn't like me that much either, but I have a feeling the reason she doesn't like me is because of the content that you were providing, if you want to call it that. Who knows? It doesn't matter if she likes me or not. These people did like you, Jim, and it's unfair. It's absolutely unfair what you've done to me and what you've done to them. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, I know. You know, and I feel, you know, and Barbara Buffalo's another one. Texas Granny's another one. AKA Susan. AKA Susan. Kathy Fagan. I mean, how can we forget about her? Miss Texas. I mean, there's so many of them. And even the people that have come and gone, like Chanel. I mean, there's so Gina from Minnesota. The people who would go out, and I know you don't give a shit, but I do. Go out and paint something and spend their own money and send it to us, and then we use a part of a show. Like, we should be celebrating these people. Not saying, no, it works for this place, or this or that. See, Jim, what's eventually going to happen, this is what I believe. And this is why you're terrified of AC. See, AC's kids belong to your wife. And if she's served or they're served, you're fucked. And that's what they want to do to you. I hope you don't get served. But I know, to an extent, that they will. The best way to get rid of you is to accept process service for you. And anybody who lives at that residence can. That'd be the easiest way to get rid of you. And here's the thing. This whole thing that you did back in the day where you go from LA to Vegas to Florida and this and that, now all the bridges are burned. And I don't want to see anything bad happen to you. But the bridge is burned here. You're not coming here. That's for sure. And I can't believe, a lot of this with the laying pipe thing, you think you would have got the Mr. X's back. I just want things to be better for you. And part of it is I'm talking about it open and public here. It is what it is. And how many people are going to hear this in the bigger scheme of things? A couple thousand? I mean, we got 350 watching us live. I mean, really, in the bigger scheme of things, it's not like there's millions of people hearing this. So it's not that many people. It's just people that we've known for a long time. You got to get your shit together. Because there's nothing in your life that you've ever had that's been as legitimate as the OTT. And by the way, for people who are asking me, I got reached out by somebody today, and they said that they got billed for Night Owl Network because Jim instructed people to sign up through Amazon Fire Stick. Just contest it. Just contest it. I have no way of helping you. I have no access to Roku, and I have no access to anything that's purchased on Amazon Fire Stick. So if you're getting rebilled because you purchase it through Roku or through Amazon Fire Stick, you got to take it up with either Amazon Fire Stick, Roku, or your bank. I've been out of it for over a month. I can't help you. That's the only thing I can do to help you. Jim will shit talk you and say, fuck you. That's the best I can help. And you can still call me and I'll try to help you. But I know that Roku and Amazon Fire Stick are notoriously difficult to deal with or get a hold of. Ask Watcher Crazy. She tried to get a hold of him. Let me say thank you to some people who are thanking me. Yeah, there's a lot of shaky ground. What's up to Johnny Yarbrough? How could I forget about him? He's over here. He's in the house. And by the way, I kept my phone off all day. Wednesday. Win or lose, I wasn't going to come in. You remember I told you guys that you don't invite Jim to a funeral? Remember I told you that? And it sounded like it was a joke. He was so giddy to find out. Why doesn't he work on his content? I win either way. What'd you win? $60? I mean, really? I mean, did you already lose that on the Dodgers? What'd you win? What, you got enough now for StreamYard for a month? Congratulations. Congratulations. Well, let me say people are saying congratulations to Mr. X. Let's go into it real quick. Rainbow Melon, 99 cents. Jim, get the calculator out. That's what you usually do, right? Rainbow Melon again. I want Jim and X to resolve their differences. Rainbow Melon, and we talked about this earlier. Very nice of you. I wish that could happen. And any fucking hater out there that says this was just all fake and they're going to start working together. Yeah, if you've listened to any of the hour and 18 minutes that I've talked, obviously that's not going to happen. I can never, ever work with him again. Not because of the stuff he's done to me, the stuff he's done to people in my life, the kind of content he wants to do, some of the rhetoric. I mean, I don't mind. Like, I'm very open to people doing the kind of content that they want. Like, I'm very open to that. So you can almost say whatever you want. And that part of it doesn't bother me. My question is it necessary? If you're doing a stand-up joke and you're going to hit the punchline with the N-word, and that was like a way that you crafted a joke, I'm okay. Okay. But if you're saying that to hurt somebody, I don't know if that's entertainment. Call me crazy. Call me a liberal. Rainbow Melon, speaking of that, again, 99 cents. She comes in again. 99 cents. She comes in again. And then obviously she's the first 6 super stickers, all broken up, but we'll take it. Tingle Boost coming in. Well done, Mr. X. I know she's probably not watching. She said she's going to watch it on the replay. Another very nice lady that we're very lucky to have. Speaking of lucky, a person that I probably talk to the most these days, it's Texas Granny. There is no conspiracy with Texas Granny. That lady has got her own kids and her own family. She doesn't need to be worrying about me or Jim, but she does. It's the kind of person she is. Those are the kind of people I want in my life. Speaking of people who I want in my life, it's Miss Texas. I want her in my life, but she's hiding. But it's probably smart. I don't know. I don't want to say she's hiding. That's wrong. But she's keeping a low profile. She comes in. She's been around a long time. There's Rainbow Melon again. She's back. Bang. And then, of course, the Martini Queen is Adele. She's back in the house. Don't forget to say happy birthday to Johnny Yarborough. That's Johnny Yarborough's birthday was on Monday, the big 5-0. There he is. Jeremy M is also in the house. Jeremy M, that package went out. I see the little dog. He's back. You're the shit, Mr. X. I'm with you all the way. That took a lot of effort to create that. I know you want one of those too, and I said at some point I would do it. Let me get through a little shit. We'll work your way back. Jeremy M coming in again. We need a good alien movie, not the Spielberg's crap. Well, Spielberg's crap or whatever, Jeremy M, made a lot of money. I mean, how can you put it down for that? But I haven't seen it yet. I'd like to see it at some point. It's not a movie that I would see in a theater. But what you're saying is we need representation. Have you ever seen, there's not enough of people who look like me in a movie. You ever heard that? There's not enough people that look like Mr. X in a movie. You know what would be a great movie? Just like those El Santo movies. If I just did a whole movie dressed as Mr. X, like a detective movie, and I just never discussed why I got a mask and sunglasses on. Everybody just takes it like it's part of my face. I think that could work. There's Miss Texas again, another $20. $20 this time. She comes in. Speaking of her, I was talking about her earlier. It's Barbara Buffalo. Very nice lady. Hard worker. Did a lot of things for you, Jim. Didn't deserve the things that you said about her family either. Maybe some, respect or reprieve would be in order. Just saying. And I'm not saying this because they're sending me money. Awesome. Love it. She loves the Mr. X video. Thank you, Texas Granny. She's coming in again. Love this. She loves it the second time. Good. Miss Texas said, see, Jim, you put in the effort. These people would be here for you. There she is, Miss Texas. I think a third or fourth time. Thank you, Miss Texas. Kathy Finnegan. There she is. $20. She's been another big supporter. A nice lady. Ace's mama with a cute dog. Where's a dog? I see an eyeball. I don't see a dog. And then, of course, Rack Senna Kennel. Congratulations on the win, Mr. X. The video clips are badass. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being here with the Mr. X. 23 of them, but a lot of them are Rainbow Melon. Thank you. Can I call you Rakuten? What do I call you? I don't know, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm answering questions. If you guys have, I see in the chat there, if you have questions about anything, I will try to answer them here. I've talked to a few people. How you doing? What's up? I've talked to a few people. Like I talked to PZ and Texas Granny first. They were nice enough to do the declarations. They were my first calls of anybody like in the streaming community. I've talked to Barbara Buffalo. She's a moderator. I've talked to Rainbow Melon. She's a moderator. Or maybe we played phone tag. I can't remember. I didn't talk to Rainbow Melon. I played phone tag with her. She called me back when I was in the gym. But I contacted all the people who are like moderators or did that. PZ and Johnny are the only ones on the outside of that. But I appreciate it. And since I didn't talk to a lot of you people, I will answer questions as fairly as I can. Or the simplest thing to do if you have a lot of questions about the court case is just get the minutes. It's a public record. I don't think it's out yet, but just go get them. That's what Mr. Rule would say. I don't think Mr. Rule thought it was the best idea for me to make the glorious domination video, but I'm not going to be creatively stifled. I don't think that there's anything wrong with, having a little celebration and that, that glorious domination video that was done. And I'll probably end the show with it when I get there. That's mostly pointed at Watch You're Crazy. If you noticed, there's a little section in the glorious domination video where the Mr. X is flying a kite. And if you look, there's some paperwork. That is her cease and desist. I didn't put a turd on it. I didn't pee it. I didn't wipe my butt with it. See, I'm a little bit different than Jim that way. I took it down to the beach this past weekend, and I put it in a kite, and I flew it around, and eventually it just went away. My phone was charging at work. I was on a long break. That's okay. That's all right. It's no big deal. I'm glad that we're catching up with you now. But, yeah, I'm answering questions. I'm here live. I don't know why the chat isn't catching up. Yeah, we have those Canadian fees. I understand. Let me say thank you to some other people who came in on the PayPal, the Cash App, and the Venmo. I'm not trying to do the salesman thing. And thank God I got that insurance money because I knew what Jim was dealing with. But like I said, the blow to the money is one thing. The blow to the time is a little bit more annoying to me. And I think that's what was their goal. But that's fine. It is what it is. But There's not one of them ever, and Leanne, I'll repeat this for the 500th time, that ever said that Mr. X, don't say they, because there is no they anymore. Mr. X, he won't show up. He's in hiding. Remember when you guys had your fish buddy that was going to show up where the Mr. X was at? And I said, I'm just going to the gym. I'll be there on February 15th. He didn't show up. I'm not fighting anybody. I'm just going to the weight room. If he's there and he gets in my way and he, physically tries to assault me, I can defend myself. I'm not looking for anybody. And then I drove around on a hover cart. We had a good time. Let me say thank you to these people that came in over either the last couple days or today. Let's start with the people from today on the Cash App. Destiny, what's up? Jeremy M. Never in doubt. Congrats. He comes in $5. A person says, anonymous, congrats on the win. I'm happy for you. I understand. It's sad that you have to keep this anonymous. I know who you are. You've been mentioned lots of times in other shows in the past. Thank you. $15. Congrats on the win. Another lady who didn't deserve what she got. Lashes and tats. $10 coming in. Mean Green. Another person who didn't deserve what she got, which I don't think she got anything. Just being doxxed. Nobody ever showed up. There was no proof. Jim, I have a report. I have an officer's name about the scenario today. I could give that out. I don't know if you've ever given that out with Mean Green. Just saying. Mandy Smoke Eye coming in. $5. Congrats to the Mr. X. Well, I feel like I talked about getting to even. I feel like by winning, I appreciate the congratulations, but it's just like, what did I really win? I mean, I guess the prize that I won, and I know what you're saying, Mandy. Like the prize I won, hopefully, is these people down in San Diego. The prize I won is hopefully I never have to deal with them for the rest of my life. They don't business interfere. They aren't harassing from alts. They just lost and lost and lost. They lost in Coronado. They lost in small claims. They're out of it. They're out of everything. And if they want to go do anything to anybody, they go do it to Jim. I've never said anything here making fun of them. I just said the truth. I'm not making fun of that young man. In a very small way, I kind of feel bad for him because he got sold a bill of goods by fucking idiot watcher crazy. This is yesterday. Rainbow Melon. Love you, Mr. X. Thank you. Kathy Finnegan, thinking about the Mr. X. This is yesterday, $20. Barbara Buffalo, also thinking about the Mr. X yesterday. Thank you. Blue Diamond, hope everything goes well, thinking about you. After you win, PZ, Mr. X, go and get yourself some Raising Cane's. PZ, I'm going to put that towards something that's going to happen this weekend. If you're going to have crab legs Friday, you should actually have crab legs. I'll give you a little hint. It has something to do with that. And that will be presented on Monday. So how about I'll change it up. We'll switch back over to the Venmo. Allie, what's up? I see you in the chat. And it is, who is it? Somebody came in. I know that you always have a special name. I think it's Love in the Sun. Can I just say MC? Can I do it that way? Congrats on the positive outcome. That's a good way to put it. It's a positive outcome. That's right. Thank you. By the way, I might have mentioned this the other day, and it might have been, I think it was, but I want to also thank DG coming in on the 13th. That's also on the Venmo. I haven't forgotten about it. Thank you. And then the PayPal, and then I know this part of the show is boring, but I got to say thank you to everybody who comes in and gifts the Mr. X. Gets me a little bit closer to even or just appreciates what I do. Congrats on the win. Amanda in Australia, it's $22.50. I'm assuming it's $25. Hope you're doing okay in the winter down there. Texas Granny, great video, great show. Thank you, Texas Granny. $100. Also, Texas Granny for the winner. Congrats. $29. Texas Granny's coming in. I think she might be the highest one today, but I'll be happy with all of them. And thank you for that. I'm sorry, it's $30. This is on the 15th, which would have been yesterday. Somebody who came in, a couple people who came in on the 15th, Texas Granny and Tingle Booze wishing me good luck. Thank you to all those people. I got through them all thanking me. Jim used to always say there's nothing more that pisses off haters than seeing the Mr. X get money and or him getting money. And I'm sure Jim is irate that I got the insurance. There's going to be a lawsuit. You'd have to show up for that. You'd have to show up. And here's the thing. I will defend. Oh, glorious, yada, yada, yada. That's right. I did defend. And not one of you fucking haters that have talked about attorneys or malicious intent. And I'm not talking about the good people that are here. What's up, Eric Murphy? I'm not talking about the good people, but you people who are haters, the Leannes, the watcher of crazies, attorney this, attorney that, attorney this. I'm it, not Eric Foss. And I don't even know if Eric Foss is a hater. He's just, him and Michelle Meltdown, I think, are just high all day. I don't know that, but maybe they are. None of you guys got fucking attorneys. None of you. And I wonder, I actually thought about this last night. I wonder if the petitioner had an attorney, if he would have had a little bit more of a chance. A little bit. He still would have lost. I believe he still would have lost. But I don't think this would have extended on as much as he did. I object. Okay, what's your grounds for objecting? He's objecting for no reason. Because, and the judge literally say, you can't object because you disagree with a statement. You have to give some kind of a foundation of why. Have you never seen the fucking OJ case? Well, you didn't. You weren't alive at that point. No, what are you, like 20? I mean, there's so many things that could be talked about with that case, with why certain things weren't hidden. And he said, well, I emailed them. They never emailed me back. It's your responsibility to do that. Grow up. Grow up. It's everybody else's fault. Well, we know where you got that from. Have a feeling it's your mom. But you know what? I understand it's expensive to live down there. It's expensive to live up here. But you made some bad decisions in your life. And the worst decision you made, petitioner, was listening and being convinced by somebody who's a complete loser like Watcher of Crazy that you had a chance against somebody like the Mr. X. You didn't have a case at all, but that was really, really stupid. It was stupid for everybody. It was, let's not say stupid. It was silly. I mean, if you're bartending, Jim keeps saying, I know where you work and all that. I don't know that. That's not true. I don't know where you work. That's not true. I don't know where he got that from. I've never said I know where you work. I said if I needed to hire somebody like a process server or a PI to figure that out, I could, but that's not necessary because you put your information out there. And by the way, your stay at safe home situation, that can be served. Go look up the rules, twin mama. That can be served. What's up, Edwin? Edwin Jimenez is in the house. So I'm not seeing a lot of questions about this. Phone lines are open. I'll take your phone calls too. Eric Murphy, Lady Justice, stomps on haters' agenda again. Yeah. I mean, Lady Justice, she never bullshits. And if these people had courage, if Leanne had the courage to show up, maybe she would have won. You know what Leanne should have done? She should have put in a counter, come into the court case, had some courage and says, that's my content. Let's talk about it. I mean, could you imagine how much I risked? Think about it like this. You know what Jim told me? He says, Eric, if I would have been served like that, I just would have got the restraining order. I wouldn't have given a shit. I wouldn't have showed up. I'm risking my reputation. I'm risking my face. I'm risking my time. I'm risking my money. I'm risking everything. I put it all on the line. Everything. Could you imagine if I would have lost what these haters would have been doing? And Jim's right. They all disappeared. They're all gone. Speaking of Lady Justice, DG's in the house. There's Destiny. She is a 40 or 35-year-old cheerleader. That's what I heard. So I got it, $9.99. And there's Ace's mom. There's the dog. There's the dog. That is the special dog, not little dog, but Ace's, or Ace. She's Ace's mama. That is Ace, the little dog. That's him. That's right. I'm glad you came in so we could see Ace. I know you sent me a picture of him. Phone lines are open, 310-741-0845. I don't know if there's really much to go through. I mean, you can ask me anything you want, but there were some questions emailed to me, like what was the reaction of the person losing, or it just, and I guess losing is probably a harsh way to put it, but it being dismissed. I heard the person was very stoic in the entire time. See, when you're in these court cases and there's like a bunch of different little windows, the window is very tiny. And he was on the opposite side. So like I couldn't even see him, you know? And I mean, he was presenting part of this case like it was the fucking OJ trial. Like this is a murder case or something like that. You know, young man, listen, son. Just listen to the Mr. X, son. I know you probably are. Your mom is for you. Just take a hike. Just get out of the business. You know, you're a young person. I mean, there's probably a lot of people. Let me tell you something. This is somebody who's 47, and I'm trying to have a heart to heart with you. So I hope you're listening to me, young man. Listen, son. You're 20 years old. You got your whole life ahead of you. $2,000 means nothing to the Mr. X. I mean, it's not no money. Don't get me wrong. When you got 150 here, I got 150,000, but I'm serving hors d'oeuvres. Go figure. Yet I'm going live like 5 or 6 times a week. I mean, I'm pretty good at multitasking, but I don't even know how you can do that. But this is what I would say to you, young man. Listen, son. Get yourself a good job. Don't go into law enforcement. You don't have it in you. Get yourself a good job. You got your whole life ahead of you. If somebody tries to get you in, it's not worth it. You know, you start talking to people in life that are doing better than you. Maybe you get a significant other. You get a family. You work your way up. You know, this whole thing with the cadet program and the police, that's off the cards for you, son. It's not gonna work for you. And I believe that was a ruse. You were never interested in that program. And maybe at one time you were, but you used it towards the end as just a way to try to kind of tell your story. There's so many things you can do in this state. It's a great state. You know what you could have done? You know what would have been interesting? Because you got a channel. I mean, you started it when you were 4 years old, right? You could have went down. You know, I guess you don't have a car, according to Jim, and you take public transportation. I don't know that. But I do know it costs $50 to park at that courthouse, and I doubt you paid that. You could park down the street, I heard, too. But you could have just taken that time instead of coming after the Mr. X. And these people, these haters, you're here today, gone tomorrow. Now that you lost, see, nobody remembers the loser in the Super Bowl. And even after a year or two, they kind of almost forget, unless it's your team, who won. You could have gone down to Tijuana, taken your camera, maybe taken some of your friends, and got some footage. And say, you know what? Here's San Ysidro. Here's how beautiful San Diego is. Here's Coronado, where all these hardworking people, I don't know if this is possible. Maybe you could have enlisted. You got Camp Pendleton up here. You got what you got down here in the naval base. I mean, that's where, you know, Coronado. That's where the naval base is. I mean, you could have done that. Maybe you're not able to. I don't know. But instead, you wasted your time coming after a guy who has an attorney who's way smarter than you. That attorney's way smart. Mr. X, he said, whoa, hold on, Mr. X. Calm down. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's an idiot. Yeah, thank you, Jim Terry Esquire, for your advice. Thank you. Thank you, Jim Terry Esquire. I appreciate it. Thank you, Dr. Terry. Well, that would be your sister. She's actually a doctor. You got 20 credits in college. Anyway. There's a lot of things you could do in that city. There's a lot of things you could do in the state. But one of the things, and let me tell you from experience, son, that it's very easy to get caught up in the minutia of negative aspects of life. Fighting other people in the entertainment industry. This guy doesn't like me. He doesn't like this. She doesn't like that. You could just focus on yourself. Make yourself better. I got to admit, son, listen, and listen to me well. Your Jim Terry is your mom. Jim Terry to me is your mom to you. Now, I don't believe Jim is as out there as your mom. Let me say that. It's fair to say that. But, son, you made a big mistake. And it's just time to move on. And I don't know what your plans are. Somebody told me that you might try to file something or other. Go do whatever you got to do. It's over. It's done. After today, I owe this to my audience, and I wanted to give you a fair response because I only think that it's fair to me after you took up all my time. You know how much time you spent of mine? A continuance for you to get an attorney, which you never got. A motion to seal, I'm okay with that. But then you weren't ready for the motion to seal, so then it got continued again. Now we're in June, and you speak for over 2 hours. Jim calls it a filibuster. I don't really think it's that. I just didn't think you know what you're doing. But if you would have got the attorney like you said you were going to, they would have steered you in the right direction. It sounded like people who were trying to give you the information of something that might have worked years ago when there was a legitimate threat up in a different state. That didn't work. This is grabbing for straws. So then you wasted 2 hours of my time talking there. Thank God, Fumble Nuts, I didn't have to drive down there. Thank God, since COVID, they have allowed people to appear on camera. I'm going to drive down there 5 times? Are you kidding me? Who's going to take me? I got problems. So with that being said, I listened to you for 2 hours. The judge says 30 minutes. And the judge got a little bit upset when I said, if the 30 minutes are up, he's got another 10 minutes. You almost got an hour. You had over 3 hours to speak. 3 hours of the Mr. X's time. Do you know how much that's worth? Do you know what my rate is? Have you watched the shows? Have you seen how generous people are to the Mr. X? At age 47, my time is worth more than yours, son. And maybe, just maybe, if you put in the right time, because a lot of people, I got a lot of friends from high school. They didn't make it past 40. I know one guy that had some mental health issues. He didn't make it past 40. I hope you do. And I hope when you do, you're not in the position where you're blaming somebody else. You're just making good money for yourself. I really hope that for you. I really wish you the best, even though that you tried to damage the Mr. X. Phone lines are open. I don't really have much more to say about this subject. I think I've said everything I can say. I've addressed everything, every corner. I'm not going to scream and yell and holler and get all animated. It's just not worth it. And like I said, these kind of shows are the reason I didn't want to work with Jim. This is the kind of stuff I don't want to do. But I have to do it because it was said in court, his shows are all about me. Well, people are concerned about me, son. People care about the Mr. X. That's what happens when you invest 4 years of your time 3 to 5 times a week, kind of like a job. And I don't consider it a job because I enjoy doing it. And even if I was making half of what I was making, I'd still do it. I like the people here. I know this is going to sound crazy to somebody because a lot of people don't think Mr. X has a heart. I care about a lot of the people here, even people that I might have had ups and downs with. I'd include somebody like Bob in that. I don't want to see Bob be in pain. I'm not using Bob to get back at Leanne or Johnny Yarbrough or PZ. I believe these are good people. But I can tell you who's not a good person. Leanne, her husband, Watcher Crazy, Confluence. These are terrible people. Not one of them fumble nuts. You put all these people in a vacuum. Not one of them are successful. I mean, just Jim's in some ways kind of similar to them. He just happens to have a lot more bravado in kind of a more public-facing situation. I don't think Jim's is near. Well, Jim is bad in a different way. I guess that's probably maybe not a fair comparison. Yeah, I agree with you. I like Bob too. But Bob is interested in what Bob's interested in. He does the poker. And I think that Bob got upset at me because, and this, I don't know, it's just speculation. Bob could speak for himself. That, by the way, it was Watcher Crazy and them and Leanne and them who got Bob struck. We lost a really good guy who had a good channel that was fun to go on. And if I couldn't even go on there in the future, if he still had a channel, I would still want to see him do well. But we lost that because of Watcher Crazy. You know, it's terrible. Just vindictive, bitter, ugly people. And when I'm saying ugly, I'm not talking about their looks. They're just overall ugly human beings that just are miserable with life. And it's just unfortunate because especially if you live in a beautiful place like Southern California. I mean, San Diego Padres, San Diego Comic-Con. You know, I'm a 20-year member. I wasn't much older than you are now, son, when I got my membership as a professional. Thank God I didn't lose that. Yeah, well, I mean, that's what some people say. I agree with you, Eric Murphy. I agree with you. But here's the truth about the stuff with Jim. Is Jim a professional football player? Yeah, he is. Is everything always about money? No. But don't be fooled that he's making tons of money playing indoor and arena football. If you follow those leagues like I have, and Jim knows more obviously about them than me, most of those teams in leagues don't even last a couple years. It's not that big of a deal. And they're all people who are, it's a step above semi-pro. It's a paid version on a different type of game. It's not semi-pro, so don't get me wrong, but it's a paid version of it. And some of them have real arenas. That one that's in Henderson or even at West Banco Arena, that's a legit arena. Those are legit places. But don't think that he's getting paid $1,000 a game. That's ridiculous. It's not. I mean, anybody can do the math and say this is just ridiculous. It's not true. And if he gets a ring or he doesn't get a ring, I mean, good for him. What does it matter? It would be nice to have that stuff in the past. I agree with you, Jeremy M. I've always liked the Mr. X, his lives, his movies, discussions, and best, but we'll miss their collaborations. I agree with you, Jeremy M. I do too. But when it's going right, it's going right. But when it's going wrong, it's not worth it. It's not worth it even when it's going right. And it's a continuous strain on me and other people in my life that's just not necessary because he's got a problem. He's got an addiction. And if you don't believe it, go look at the court minutes. It was discussed. I bet you would have loved to have heard that live. It's true. Everybody else feels the same way. But At some point, you just can't move on. You can't grow it. You know, like how many times can I sit up here and listen to a guy like Traveling Fools say, if you guys just did this, did this, did this, did this, I'm like, yeah, I know. I agree. What am I supposed to do? Hey, Jim, you know, if we just did this, this would work. You don't think I didn't have that conversation? You didn't think I didn't try over 4 years? You know, I mean, getting on Roku or getting on Amazon Fire Stick, I mean, that's cool and all. But I've heard haters say anybody can do it. Yeah, you could. You know, I mean, that's like saying I can get in the batter's box and, you know, take a pitch that's 90, 95 miles per hour. Sure, you can stand in a batter's box. How long are you going to survive in there? 4 years? 3 years? Are you going to make any money at it? Are you going to have people that care about you? I don't know. But yeah, can anybody can make a movie. Anybody can kick a field goal. I'll give Jim the credit for playing the years that he's played. Sure. I think that's phenomenal. I just wouldn't tell anybody that I'm a professional athlete and walk around looking like that. And then talk about what other people look like. You know, you've seen those videos that you saw of the Mr. X. Those are like in the last, within the last like 4 or 5. One, the dark footage, the footage at night was last night. The beach footage was actually before the petition, and I think that was on Saturday and Sunday. That's what I look like right now. And I'm not wearing any girdle or anything that sucks in your gut or anything like that, or any undershirt. I got a baggy shirt on and sweatpants. I'm not telling anybody that I'm a fucking athlete. I mean, I have been, probably am. But I look at it like this. I know what my flaws are physically. And Leanne, I'm in the gym trying to do something about it. It's not Zumba, bitch. But I tell you what, Zumba's not a bad class. Maybe you should do that. That might help you a little bit. Cute little dog there. Yeah, and I mean, I have news and I have things I could talk about it, but it's just with this show after yesterday, I feel like that this show is about these surrounding subjects around what happened in the last 120 days, what happened with the ancillary people around it, losers like Leanne. I mean, for Leanne to think that her husband didn't do what he did. I mean, Leanne, I can tell you this. I've always had long-term relationships and girlfriends. I've never like done the one-night stand thing or anything like that. If anybody accused me of what your husband was accused of, I have a feeling a lot of the women that I've dated over the years would be like, what the fuck? You know, I mean, you almost can kind of feel, even being accused of, hey, you're this monster that needs to be restrained against am I a piece of shit? No, I'm not. I mean, some of you people, Danielle and Dana Nicole, some of you people have met me in person. I'm not a piece of shit. Mr. X is a character. I come on here and I go over the top because that's what we do here. It's pro wrestling on streaming. And then I try to do my news show. You know, I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm not a piece of shit. I care about animals. I care about kids. I would never be harmful to a woman. Mr. X threw a woman down steps. The fuck are you talking about? Mr. X hid because of this and had a ladder. Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay. Prove it, bitch. That's what I would say to Leanne. But Leanne, see, here's the difference. And that's where I would give the young man some credit. I give him credit more so than Fumble Nuts, and he at least showed up. And none of you haters ever have, and that includes Jim. I'm not going to say Jim's a hater, but Jim won't show up anywhere. I could go live in 5 minutes. Jim will never do that. Does that make Jim a bad guy, that he can't go live or that he's hiding? No. But don't judge me. Jimmy, you should really be looking in the mirror and saying, Mr. X, thank you. Thank you for taking the brunt of this. thank you for taking this head on and having the courage to stand up to it. You're a winner, Mr. X. And then meanwhile, you're talking a month ago like I'm a piece of shit and nobody would love me. Sounds almost silly. Sounds really silly. Jim, to have people love you, I'm going to go to the cliche. Are you ready? You got to love yourself. And you got to believe in yourself. I don't want anybody around me who doesn't believe in me. Doesn't believe. The only reason he made that movie is because he ripped people off. That's not fucking true. You weren't there. I hired that guy. And then he didn't do what he said. I got rid of him. We finished it without him. You weren't fucking there. Jim, what have you ever done that took you 5 years to do? Nothing. Nothing. Unless there was something in it for you. He fought with everybody. There's 100 people that worked on that. Because you know of 2 of them? Jim, tell me who is your close friend. Who's that one buddy of yours that you have? One buddy that you could go to Vegas with. That you could call up and say, hey, listen, pal, here's what's going on. And doesn't need or want anything from you. I got a lot of those. Do you? And why is that? Why don't you have that? It's because of how you acted. You had a good buddy in me. You had somebody who made you finally look as good as you tell people that you are. Could you imagine if somebody produced for Mr. X? And by the way, son, let me get back to you because I got to refer to you as a son. You're a young man. That's producing, not directing. What I do is produce. Could you imagine if somebody did all the production for the Mr. X that I helped with Jim? Well, I did have somebody. Now that I think about it. But to that extent, that's definitely not true. I don't know what you're saying is true or not. Yeah, it was pretty sad, Rainbow Melon. But there's better days ahead. There's better things coming ahead. I don't want this show to be a downer. I wanted to get to 2 hours. You know, I can't say how much I appreciate you guys over and over and over again. Thank you to Texas Granny for doing the Mr. X News Network stickers. I posted a video here recently of the new stickers. I know there's a handful of people that, said that they wanted to get them. I don't have a ton of them. But as I mail things out to people, I'll get some out to people. And, obviously I'm going to use them on some of the upcoming trips. I will be in Vegas. At some point, I will be in Florida. Jim, I don't take your threats seriously. What are you going to do? Beat me up in front of my mom? Come on. Jim, this is how unserious I know that you are. If you were going to do that to anybody, why didn't you do it to Fumble Nuts? That's what I would say. I mean, that could have been your opportunity. There's Ace's mama. Again, we had one come in. Here's what she was saying. We still need to see inside a Vinegar Syndrome store. Thanks for being normal, an approachable person. Yeah, I agree. Well, we have some people, Jeremy M., inside a Vinegar Syndrome store. We know that Adele was up there. I think Gen X was up there, but I haven't seen her in a long time. Somebody told me she was in Jim's chat. I like her. I don't have a problem with her. I don't know where she's at, but I've always liked Gen X. She was up there. There was somebody else, I think, who was telling me they were going to go to the Toronto one at one point. There's one in Connecticut. I think the only one around there was Carol H. I haven't seen her in a long time, except for in Jim's chat. I don't really have a problem with her either. I don't think she has the ability to drive there. I don't know if anybody in Colorado. And, Mean Green's in Pittsburgh, but she's been doing some stuff. So, I mean, at some point, I'm sure there'll be one. It just hasn't happened yet. But here's the thing that I'm wondering, Jeremy M., if there's not any Blu-rays left in those stores. There's, I think, only a couple hundred left in existence. But that would be cool. You just never know. Thought Adele went. No, Adele is, you'd have to either be in Toronto, Pittsburgh, I think it's like New Haven, Connecticut, or somewhere outside of like Denver, Colorado. Those are the 4 that I'm aware of. So what's your new plan for the show? Well, Mr. X News Network, this is just kind of a sidebar show. Obviously, I'm not going to be live tonight. Mr. X News Network, we cover the news. Like, for example, I have a news piece, Just Me and Puppy. That's a new name there. And if you haven't been here, like, there's a Dollar Tree out near my property that I always talk about. And there was a bunch of women that went into this Dollar Tree and stole and got busted. Now, that thing that I bought with the confetti and all that is actually the area that these people got busted in. So, I might call up the dollar store. I might do a little piece on it when I was there. But I like to talk about news, sports, entertainment, movies, things like that if you're new to the channel. And kind of talk about that and then catch up with you guys. Like, you guys are part of the news too. And sometimes people send me stuff. Hey, call this person, or did you hear about this news? Sometimes I use it. Sometimes I don't. If you want to be on the Mr. X newsletter, it's free. Mr. X is not loose scunt at gmail.com. You email me, you say, Mr. X, I want to be on the newsletter, and I send you a newsletter twice a week of when I'm going to be live. That's simple. I have a feeling Jim will go on and be like, Mr. X had the best content possible, and he made it boring. Well, here's the thing. It's not about that. What this is about today is to say, yes, that's true. What you heard is true. And everybody else has had a chance to talk about it that isn't hiding. Mr. X won, but that's it. We aren't talking about those fucking people anymore. And if their name comes up, I'm not saying never, never, never. But if their name comes up, if it comes up like Leanne's a coward, then it comes up. But I don't want to spend any more time on these people than I already have. That's right. Sold out. That's right. And a lot of people say I sold out. Yeah, I sold out of Blu-rays on Vinegar Syndrome's website, but I never sold out any of these people. That's for sure. Thank you guys for joining me on Mr. X News Network. I'm going to check one more time in case I missed everybody. I can't express how much you guys mean to me. And I'm getting a little shaky here saying it, but the calls, the emails, the texts, the people who say, we got your back, Mr. X. It's not about the monetary aspect of it, although that does help me survive and thrive, of course. But, it's just, it means a lot that I have these people that I've met over the years. Of course, meanwhile, while I'm being told I'm a piece of shit and that nobody cares about me. By Jim, but I do have these people that care, and it means a lot. It really does. Let me say hello to Dana Nicole coming in. Oh, Dana Nicole coming in the chat. Thank you, Dana Nicole, for being part of the chat. Sorry. That's all you're part of. And thank you for coming in to the movie screening. Saving it real quick. Here it is right here. So here's what you do. Thank you, Dana Nicole, for coming in and being part of our show. How about that? My show. There it is on the bottom of the screen. Mr. X, MRX, is not loose scunt at gmail.com. You email me, you say, I want to be on the newsletter. It's free. I randomly add you. If you get it, well, I'll add you before the next one. If you get sick of it, you don't want to get the email, you just unsubscribe on your own. That's it. It's that simple. And it's kind of like my newsletter. I've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them going back to Jim Terry TV, which Jim never even said thank you once. And I certainly thanked him many, many times for the robocalls, which in my opinion, he should lose that robocall for doxing people. It's fucking ridiculous. When they find out what that robocall is, it's gone. It's gone. I'm not part of it, but they're going to find out sooner or later, and that thing's going to be gone. You shouldn't be doxing people on it. That's why you got run off a lot of them. No, I thank you. Thank you, Adele. Thank you for everybody for being here. Hopefully you got that. Donkey Dick is here as well. And, this isn't some knockdown, drag-out show where I act all animated and ridiculous like I keep saying. It's just, hey, here's what happened, and thank you. That's all I could do. That's all I could say. Really, I talked to the attorney. And he's like, it's up to you. It's your life. You're probably better off if you just don't talk about it at all. And I said, if I was just only doing movies, I feel like Jim says, don't lie to the audience, and he lies to the audience. I feel like I owe it to these people to say, here's what happened. I wasn't malicious with malicious intent. Yeah, try that. Try that in a courtroom, Leanne. You know, I would say, Leanne, that whatever they had down in San Diego is even though a lot of it was bullshit and just ridiculous, is a lot more than you have. And you have already been served and sued. Watch Your Crazy has been served. Fumble Nuts has a trespass ban. Those people have no chance against the Mr. X. They have no chance. They just need to go. Most of them have. Pack it up, get out of here, get out of my business, and get out of my life. So we could just do fun things. At least the people who enjoy what I do and they think it's fun. You know what I mean? Thank you, Barbara Buffalo. Thank you, everybody, for being a part of Mr. X News Network. Thank you to my moderators, Rainbow Melon, Texas Granny, and everybody else. And next time I will do better because it won't be about this kind of stuff. That's for sure. And we'll get back to the normal Mr. X News Network. I got something planned by making a better show. It's not necessarily just coming up here and winging it. It's showing, it's sharing, it's interacting with you guys. Tracy, what's up? Vinegar syndrome is, to answer that question, Donkey Dick, when film starts getting bad and is in storage, old film, you're right, it starts getting a vinegar smell to it. It starts expiring. And that smell they call vinegar syndrome. That's where they got the name of that company. So they're basically like they're older movies is kind of what they're saying. That's right. It's time to throw in the towel and see ya and take off. Guys, thank you for being here on Mr. X News Network. Let me leave you with the video that everybody's talking about, the Mr. X glorious domination. Thank you for being here. Thank you to everybody who's come in. Let me say hello to Dana and a bunch of other people that have come through, Miss Texas and yada, yada. There's so many people. Barbara Buffalo, another moderator. Texas Granny, another moderator. Adele. I mean, I'm dropping the names, but you guys, you've been here so long with me. Thank you for believing in me. And even if I would have lost, you guys were still on my side. You still believed in me, and I didn't. It was dismissed. It was domination. And that's how Mr. X does it. Like Jim says, what does he say? Don't hunt what you can't kill. Well, to be able to hunt something, you got to know if it exists. It's hard to kill something if that thing is hiding. How about this? Don't come after Mr. X in court, because what'll happen is glorious domination.
You can't keep getting away with it!